happen the week of the 11th. The 11th to the 16th of January. It's going to happen that week. It's with like clockwork, Tim. When we finally saw our first snow, sleet, rain event, after we had, it had been however many years, now the numbers just escape me. It literally was like he was getting back from this conference, and it was happening. Every year, without fail.
I know. I joke the same thing happens to me whenever I try and go out of town. We have a tropical storm or a snowstorm or something like that. So I was thinking mid-December. That's kind of my guess. And really, we have predictions, but we also have guesses. The prediction would be, I would think, that the weather is probably a little cooler in December overall. That would be a prediction. The guess would be when it happens. I don't know when we'll get snow. But
yeah, January normally sees our coldest kind of stretch with those highs in the low 50s and lows in the 30s. So before we go, I do want to briefly chat with you. And, of course, we can extend our chat tomorrow as well because we have plenty of time since Brad's off the next 2 days. Social media hype over this big cool down. I just want to remind people that December 1st is the first day of meteorological winter, and it is supposed to cool down. And we are right now substantially above average.
Yeah, I don't know what changed with social media this year. It's always been bad. It feels like it's a little bit worse right now. You can open up anything and it'll say snow on the way, and then you look at the fine print and it's like, this is the forecast for the next 3 weeks. Like, get a grip. This is not something you need to stress over or get excited over. But yeah, it is likely to be cooler than average, probably starting after Thanksgiving. But like you say, it's supposed to cool down. But if you're someone that, and there's a lot of people, if the warm weather this time of year bums you out, you'll probably be a little happier, I would say, because more seasonal and probably even a little cooler than that after Thanksgiving. That seems to be the way we're going.
Yeah, and I also think it bodes, I know we've talked about this before, for your, the Triad and the Piedmont. We have so many people that are moving here constantly, every single month, every single year. North and South Carolina were just number 1 and 2 on the list of most desirable states to move to. So I think it bodes well, too, that we kind of talk about the averages, because I wouldn't want someone to look at today, right? You guys got to 74, we got to 79, to think this is normal for November, because it's not.
It's not normal, but something Brad and I talked about the other day, too. We average 70-degree days in the month of November somehow. So there's just a lot of variety this time of year. You do get some 70s. You do get snow flurries sometimes and highs in the 40s. All of those things happen, and you kind of just have to take it as it comes.
Yeah, it's the nature of fall. Big swings just like spring. All right, Tim, we will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, my friend. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and I'll see you 24 hours from now.
Sounds good. See you then.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Colin Mayfield on WCNC Plus inside the Impact Studio. We've got 2 hours here for you, and we're going to start with the Border Patrol activity that is happening in Charlotte. It is causing construction delays, and a lot of developments that we've seen across the area have ceased to work, really, in because of some of the individuals that are not on those sites. So we did speak to a local contractor from the owner of F2 Construction about the local presence of federal immigration agents here in Charlotte and really what it's doing to the industry and to this man's business as well. So we're going to go to this interview right now.
If you don't mind, just for the recording purposes, tell me your first, last name, and then your ties with your company.
My name is Faisal Fakhri. I am the owner of F2 Construction. I go by Face, F-A-C-E. And we own a renovation company here, a highly regarded renovation company in Charlotte.
How long have you guys been in Charlotte for, I should say, for starters?
I have been in Charlotte over just around 20 years now.
Okay.
And maybe a couple of years, between 18 and 20 years. I can't remember exactly, but and then we've been in business. We actually just passed our 10-year anniversary. So.
All right. Well, congratulations for that, by the way, Face. I appreciate that information.
Thank you.
But wanted to touch base with you, man. So obviously, over the weekend, we saw a bit of a change as far as operations are concerned. Border Patrol has made their presence kind of felt in the Charlotte community, and we've seen it hit in a wide range of areas, specifically even in like the business industry. And so if you don't mind kind of just talking to me about how this has actually impacted your business since operations from Border Patrol really began here in Charlotte.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward, right? We're all seeing the same things out there. As far as our business, we're a construction company. I'm an immigrant. Almost every single one, with the exception of one or two people on my staff, everybody's an immigrant. This is pretty typical of the construction industry, obviously. And so, yeah, things are not great right now. I mean, as of today, since yesterday, my entire operation is grounded. Nobody's working. I mean, I'm catching up on admin work, but outside of that, we have anywhere between 12 to 15 projects right now that are just sitting idle. So it's pretty terrible.
Can you,
especially as we're entering the holiday season, all these things have important deadline, including Thanksgiving next week that we were supposed to be delivering on.
I was going to say, you kind of took my question away about the kind of challenges with that. I mean, you kind of touched on it. It's horrible timing right now, though, too, for your business.
Well, and again, not only is it horrible timing, but, we can take all of that out of the equation. What's happening is horrible. And that's really what people need to understand, Yeah, I mean, projects are on hold. People are not going to get their bathroom done. They're not going to get their kitchen done on time. That's unfortunate. But what's really unfortunate is me receiving videos from my staff hiding behind their curtains and recording, violent behavior from ICE right outside of their door. So, we're all seeing the same things on the news. We're all seeing the same thing on social media. But I think it's really, really important to understand that there are people scared, hiding behind doors in 2025 in the United States of America. I mean, truth be told, I'm a foreigner too. My wife's American. She does not want me out and about. I am currently in my office, and she does not even want me out and about. So here we are.
But can you talk to me or at least give me some context of what those conversations have been like with your staff then since you guys have kind of halted operations on your guys' end?
So I'm not quite sure how you found me. If maybe you saw, we put quite a bit of information on social media the last couple of days, just to try to inform the public. But from my standpoint, as the owner of the business, my staff takes priority. So the minute all of this started happening, we had a call with our staff, and we basically told them, you decide what you need to do, right? And to be clear, the vast majority, if not all of them, pretty much every single one of them, is a legal citizen. They are not illegal citizens. Of course, there's always a little bit of laborers that come in and out that may not be fully legal. Everybody understands that. But I don't think that has any impact on what Border Patrol is doing. So in order to keep everybody safe, we just told everybody, hey, stay home until you feel safe enough to get out. And if it's going to cost us business, if it's going to cost us, overhead or whatever, we will take care of it. That's just the right thing to do.
One of my last questions that I have for you, though, too, is I know it's still like maybe too soon to tell, but how do you kind of try to get back into the swing of things for you guys? And at what point do you say, okay, we can try to get back into it?
So that's a really good question. I actually have been pondering that myself, especially as we're entering Thanksgiving week next week. It is going to be really, really tricky. Our position right now is we do not anticipate getting back to full work until at least Monday or Tuesday of next week. From where, just paying attention to everything, that is likely best case scenario. And then after that, it's going to be just trying to prioritize projects based on the urgency needs. Does our client need their kitchen before Thanksgiving, or can they wait till after Thanksgiving? We want to give our staff the leeway that they need to ensure that they are safe, or at least they're feeling safe enough to come out to work. I think that is a minimal requirement that everybody should be accustomed to.
Base, that's really all I had for you, question-wise. I appreciate your time. Is there anything else that you wanted to add, by the way?
No, I think we all see this. I don't think there's much value in beating a dead horse. This needs to end. It is clear, the data has shown, the records have shown that this is nothing more than a political stunt that is aimed at dividing our community. And we need it to end. This is not how things are done here. I come from a country that is at war. And I have my family member looking at videos and calling me and saying, what the hell is happening? Like, this is worse than being in a third world country at war. So that's just a reality at this point. I think everybody's getting a little bit numb to I guess the complaint and the feedback, because the reality that we've observed is there's no accountability for these people.
Right.
There's no accountability. If Charlotte PD cannot even interact with these people, what are we supposed to do? So anyway, that's kind of where we are.
Again, I
some interesting comments and sentiments made, and that's not the only industry that's been affected. Many of the restaurants from different ethnicities, whether it be Mexican, Cuban, Venezuelan, not many parking lots are full if you go around Charlotte right now. So other industries are impacted by the operations ongoing in Charlotte. We'll have more after this 2-minute break, right after this. Welcome back, everyone. Community members planning to speak out at a CRTPO meeting tonight where there's going to be some infrastructure projects, specifically the I-77 toll lane project on the southern portion of 77. This is ongoing right now, so we're going to go to this live.
Great.
Thank you.
Good evening, members of the board. I want to first thank you for your service to the communities that govern this body. My name is Al Austin. I am the president of the Third Ward Neighborhood Association, and I'm also a former Charlotte City Councilman, and I'm a native Charlottean who has lived the past history associated with the building of I-77 and I-85 highway. The Third Ward Neighborhood Association is located in Uptown Charlotte with boundaries of Charlotte City Center at I-77 and Trade and I-77 and Moorhead. I stand before you in strong opposition to the proposed widening of I-77 and South Express lanes as it stands. Let me get a little personal here. Approximately 50 years ago, as a little boy growing up in Lincoln Heights community, I watched my community get torn apart when I-77 and I-85 pushed through our neighborhoods at LaSalle and Newland Roads. I watched families disappear. I watched friends move away from neighborhoods like Lincoln Heights, Delbrooks, McQuarrie Heights, Double Oaks, Druid Hills, Oaklawn Park. Communities that were full of life were sliced in half. Now, after decades, instead of repairing and reconnecting these communities after past harm, we're now being asked again to accept even more destruction, more construction, more concrete, more pollution, more loss. Our neighborhoods have carried the burden of these decisions for generations, and we're still feeling the weight of them today. The chamber this evening is filled with leaders and residents who have lived along these 11 miles of the planned project and are in opposition and will share their reasons why. As the representative for the Third Ward, we oppose this project for the following. The verdict is still out on the effectiveness of the managed lanes north, achieving the goal of moving traffic effectively and faster. One of the jewels of Third Ward neighborhood is Frazier Park, which is used by thousands of people from Wesley Heights, from Fourth Ward, from West End residents. This park has a dog park, basketball court, tennis courts, playgrounds, and many other amenities that are supported by the city, the county, and our neighborhood. Please do not touch. We need more green space and not more gray slabs. So tonight, I'm asking you respectfully, passionately, and directly to reconsider your support for this project plan as it stands. Please listen to the voices of the residents that are affected tonight. Let's restore and not destroy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Austin. Our next one, Michael, and Michael, I apologize. I'm not able to. Yeah, come on down. Tell us your name when you get there. I apologize. Sure.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Michael Bermudez, and the reason why I'm here today is public safety. And I feel like that is a very important issue for everybody, regardless of party affiliation. We've noticed there have been recent tragedies on the light rail, specifically Irina Zarutska's murder back in August. And the biggest thing that I want to bring up is that people do not feel safe on the public transportation. Wherever they go, they're always looking to make sure that they're safe, and we should be able to ride the transit system, ride the buses without fear of, God forbid, being stabbed. And what I think makes matters worse is that we have a mayor that wants to make excuses for criminals and wants to say it is a quote unquote mental health crisis that we can't police our way out of, but won't do anything to stand with the victims. And that, that brings me to my next thing, which was, it was a national disgrace and it made national news. And I feel like out of solidarity for the family and out of respect for Irina, I'm calling for the East-West station to be renamed the Irina Zarutska station. And I feel like that is the least that Charlotte can do. And I understand that the mayor has not been vocal on this. So what I'm asking everybody in this committee is if Mayor Lyles will not do her job, if you guys would do the right thing in standing up for Irina Zarutska, for her justice, for her legacy and a life to be remembered, and then also to push for better policing and better security on public transportation. Since 2018, security has dropped 40% on the public transit. And more recently, there was a 64-year-old veteran that was brutally attacked on the bus in March, left paralyzed. I mean, that's another story I don't think many people heard about. And the transportation in Charlotte is 3 times more dangerous than the national average. So again, these are all concerns that matter to people, even the people that don't live in the, I'm not originally from Charlotte, so whenever I go to Charlotte, I'm terrified to ride public transportation because I feel like my life is at risk. And Mayor Lyles said that people should feel, she wants people to feel safe. And I'm saying to her, I know she's not here, but I'm saying to her is people don't want to feel safe, they want to be safe. And I don't think that it's an excuse just to say that. So yes, that is my main thing, is to have safer transit and then to push for the station to be renamed the Irina Zarutska Station and her legacy. And thank you for giving me the chance to speak.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Our next speaker, is it Zaya or Zia? Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Zia Hibma. I'm 11 years of age, and I'm here today to discuss the critical issue of the I-77 construction project in Charlotte. When we talk about progress and development, we too often forget about the people who are affected the most by it. It's important to remember that this isn't just about transportation, but the possible effects of it on the community. The proposed construction will cut through historic neighborhoods like McCrory Heights, a neighborhood that carries the legacy, pride, and resilience of Charlotte's Black community. Personally, upon seeing the plans for this project, I cried. As a resident of the neighborhood, McCrory Heights isn't just a place on a map. It's a living story, a neighborhood founded by educators and civil rights leaders who helped shape Charlotte's identity. To see the community face displacement or disruption in the name of highway expansion feels wrong. Right now, there are 2 proposed plans, at-grade and elevated. The at-grade option would take out homes in McCrory Heights, while the elevated option would spare most of them. But we can also consider a third option, an underground route that safeguards homes, reduces air and noise pollution, protects the skyline view, and still supports transportation needs. In addition, we can take other paths to improve transportation in an innovative, compassionate way. We can invest in improved public transit, safer bike lanes, and green spaces that support mobility and community life. Progress should not mean erasing history. I feel the voices of residents in McCrory Heights deserve to be heard, not as an afterthought, but as essential voices in the conversation. These are people who have already fought for their right to stay, to preserve their homes, and to protect their heritage. If we let this construction go forward, we will send a message that history and community don't matter, and that is a message that has been proved wrong many times by the residents of the McCrory Heights neighborhood and more. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you. And our next speaker, is it Sean Langley? Welcome, Mr. Langley. You have 3 minutes.
I have to come behind that. So, CRTPO board members, I want to briefly discuss the historical significance of McCrory Heights, why the proposed plans by NCDOT don't align with our community, and a better solution for Charlotte. I'm Sean Langley, president of McCrory Heights Neighborhood Association, where I've lived for nearly 20 years. As a resident, I'm fortunate to live in one of America's most iconic historically Black communities in America. The residents that live and have lived in this neighborhood have played a pivotal role in the civil rights movement by dismantling the walls of segregation in Charlotte. Every single home in the neighborhood has a storied history, despite the NCDOT seizing homes via eminent domain in 1967, constructing Brookshire Freeway through our neighborhood in 1968, and disconnecting us from Uptown and other communities in 1970 when I-77 was constructed. These historical injustices were never corrected, and now our children and seniors inhale and exhale the fumes from the interstate that clog our lungs. We shout at each other in certain streets because the noise is too unbearable to have a normal conversation. And our quality of life is in danger because of these proposed plans to I-77. So after encroaching on our community countless times, we find ourselves at this juncture. Imagine how we must feel to hear plans to expand I-77 freeway once again through our historic, quaint, angelic neighborhood. Pure disgust. And we certainly are opposed to the expansion of NCDOT seizing over 80 homes via eminent domain along this 11-mile stretch. Not in favor of the elevated highways either. It's a visible eyesore, compromises our quality of life, and increases noise and air pollution that do not align with the City of Charlotte's Strategic Energy Action Plan that pledges to cut greenhouse gas emissions by 72% by 2035. Furthermore, these proposed plans encourage car dependency, they decrease our property values, and cause induced demand. Look at cities like Atlanta that have general purpose lanes and toll lanes. Tell me if that solution to traffic congestion has worked. I digress. If CRTPO is really concerned about equity, as your vision statement clearly articulates, you will reconsider the proposed plans for all the reasons I mentioned above. Don't cause unnecessary harm to our neighborhoods. So here's both a compromise and our only viable solution. Be innovative. Be a champion of restorative justice. Lead with equity. Reconnect communities by submerging I-77 underground for both general purpose lanes and toll lanes. By doing this, you are allowing the city to reclaim the space above and reconnect communities. Moreover, this would reduce noise and air pollution and satisfy the needs of this body and NCDOT. Follow the blueprints of other cities like Seattle and Boston that care about the well-being of all their residents.
Mr. Langley.
That should be the charge of this body.
Mr. Langley, that's your
Please reconsider.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker, Mr. Goldstein. Is it Shai Goldstein? Oh, there we go. Welcome, Mr. Goldstein. You have 3 minutes.
Thanks for having us all here this evening to hear input. My name is Shai Goldstein. I first moved to Charlotte in 1991, so as you can imagine, I've seen quite a lot of change, growth, and development. Let me start by saying I've been to 33 countries in my life, and I choose to live right here in Charlotte because I love it for what it is. I'm not approaching this discussion about what's bad or good, possible or not possible, wise or unwise, from a position of ignorance. I bought my first home in Charlotte in the university area because living in the city of Charlotte was not desirable at that time. It was like someone threw a big breaker on Fridays and the city shut off. All the life was outside of town. However, with smart and careful development, our city became somewhere where people wanted to be. And I invested in a dilapidated West Side home 22 years ago to be part of this exciting movement. I've been proud of Charlotte for investing in light rail, greenways, trolleys, bike lanes, and making us a more connected and cohesive city. For over 15 years, I've cycled commuted into Center City for work year-round, rain or shine. I haven't driven to the office once. So, when I saw the proposals last week, I was struck with a lot of questions. What urban planners were involved in the design of these proposals? Who thought that increasing the volume and velocity of cars and trucks through the heart of our city is safe, smart, or good for the development, character, or economy of Charlotte? Cities across this country who've made this mistake of building large, high-traffic, high-speed highways through the center of their urban areas in past decades have seen how this has been destructive to their growth and development. From Boston to Kansas City, they've been paying billions to either bury them or remove them altogether because they have learned that adding more traffic through the heart of a city only serves to make it less connected and less desirable. In the past year, I personally have seen traffic tunnels from Sydney, Australia to Colombia, South America.
Guys, want to cut into this before we take a quick 2-minute break before a live interview here at 7:30. We've got some reports of a large police presence. In fact, one of our executive producers telling us about this. We don't know much about this scene, but we do know at least 10 different police officers, at least their cars, have been seen at this West Boulevard location. It is in the Steel Creek area along Steel Creek Road, so a very pass-through area, busy during this time of the night. We do not expect any issues with traffic in this, but we don't exactly know, again, what is happening in this. But a large police presence in the Steel Creek neighborhood with at least 10 different cop cars seen at one point in time on this West Boulevard location. So we'll try to gather more information and, of course, have contacted CMPD to try and learn more from them. Once we get more information, we'll pass it along to you. We'll take a quick 2-minute break and be back right after this. We're back. Thanks for sticking with us here on WCNC Plus inside the Impact Studio. We have 2 live interviewees here with us tonight. We have Layla El Ali and Deanna Fayed with us tonight, talking about an awesome experience, an educational opportunity for a lot of individuals to not only learn about the Arab American community, but about some of the dancing that goes along with some of the folklore of this culture. So we want to learn a little bit more from both of you. Thank you so much for coming on. Deanna, we'll start with you about this collective. Talk about where this started. And this is obviously not just for Arab Americans, but obviously it was started by Arab Americans. I think it is so cool that you guys are wrapping your arms around the city of Charlotte, asking folks to come on out and really educate yourself on some of these, all these cultural aspects that you guys have to offer, right?
Absolutely. Thanks, Colin. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
The Kahwa Collective was originally founded, as you mentioned, by Palestinian Americans here in Charlotte. And initially, it was just really intended to bring communities together and to gather in a communal way, and to highlight local businesses and to raise awarenesses to causes that matter to our neighbors and to our friends and our family. And it's really evolved into a broader story where we're wrapping our arms around all communities that feel called to this mission and to want to find space together in our community and build, local awareness to what our people are going through and how we can contribute to our local community.
I love that. Let's talk about the traditional dancing that kind of goes along with it. And then I shouldn't say it goes along with it. You guys, this is an aspect of the collective that you guys use as an opportunity to not only, engage individuals, but obviously show, the folklore that you have in the Palestinian, I guess, ethnicity in the subset, right? And learning folks, or having folks learn, what that looks like, and educating. Can you talk a little bit more, Layla, about this dance? It does look intricate. We're playing some of this video. Is it easy to learn? And would a newbie like myself, if I wanted to come to the collective, would it be easy for me to pick up?
Yes, definitely, Colin. Thank you so much. So, Firqat al-Watan was started in 2014.
Okay.
It was established by my mother and I. And the primary focus of Firqat al-Watan is to bring youth and community together to teach Palestinian folklore and history, but also to provide a sense of belonging as we really create a balance of what it's like to be Arab American and to hold on to our Palestinian roots. You could definitely come. We have taught people with no experience or those who've grown up dancing the beautiful art of Debka. It's something that it brings joy and it instills confidence in a lot of our youth who've now grown to become our, so many different fields. They've gone off to college and have written their letters about Firqat al-Watan and Debka and what they've learned to now, go into ophthalmology school or to be the next entrepreneurs. And it's something that has brought a lot of joy in times of grief and hardship within our community. And it's something that brings people together under a lighter aspect of what some connotations revolve around being Arab American, and it's really contributed beautifully to our community.
The collective itself, if you would say the name, because I don't want to butcher it, but it is an actual coffee club, and the name actually means coffee, Diana, right? Talk a little bit about why you guys use that, right? Coffee is kind of it seems like the universal drink that people can get behind and kind of find common ground on, right?
Exactly. I think that's the perfect way of putting it. Coffee is such a universal uniter of people, and obviously there's a culture in our the Arab and Palestinian identity around coffee and
I didn't know that.
Hospitality and different types of coffee.
Wow.
But again, like you mentioned, I think it's something that a lot of different cultures share, and that's what brings so many different people together at the collective. And speaking of collective, one of the reasons why we chose that word in particular, I think in today's society, we find a lot of focus on individualism, but what grounds Palestinians and Palestinian Americans and other cultures is this focus on collectivism and kind of sharing and growing and building community and showing up for each other in that way. And it can be as simple as an act of grabbing a coffee with someone.
Talk about that history with coffee, because I think, I'll speak for myself, when I think of coffee, I think of South America, right? I mean, I know that we get imports from other areas across the globe, but the first thought, especially here in America, being so close to South America, right, would be that beans would come from there. But I think it's revolutionary to think about coffee in a different way in so many other places across the globe that use it as a vehicle, right, to connect with individuals, as you're kind of talking about. Talk about that history, because I wasn't aware of that, especially with the Palestinian ideal in terms of what coffee brings to the culture. Can you kind of explain that?
Definitely. Well, I think me, myself, having been a co-lead of this organization, I've learned from local coffee shop owners. We've had a lot of Yemeni coffee shops open in the Charlotte area recently.
Wow.
And I've gotten education for myself that I didn't know previously, that Yemen has a really big influence on coffee globally. And this country was one of the initial producers of coffee as we know it today.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so learning that history and how the Middle East has contributed to that culture, beyond just the legacy of how we share a cup of coffee today, is knowing where it came from and how it's evolved over time and the contributions to the global society. So I think that's one really awesome way that like I've learned throughout this experience of being in this organization.
Yeah.
Just the impact and the legacy that coffee can have. But in terms of the tradition, I think there's like so many little traditions, like preparing for a wedding and having a cup of coffee, or like an engagement. And there's really sweet things that you can do over a cup of coffee in our culture.
Yeah.
But I think generally, like anytime you enter an Arab household, they're going to welcome you with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or like something, or a million things probably more likely. But that element of our culture and just really sharing that, like a pot together, I think can be so warming and so community building, because it really breaks down a lot of kind of barriers to connecting with individuals. It makes it much more conversational and accessible to people who maybe don't have the same backgrounds.
Yeah.
I gotta, Jeb, throw up this video again one more time. The people in this video, I don't know if you are part of this in the video right now, Layla or Deanna, but it looks easy to do. And I was told by our resident desk assignment extraordinaire, Amaro, that it may look easy, but it really is difficult to do. So I don't want to paint this to be an easy dance, right? We know the merengue and the salsa can be a doozy at times, but for a beginner, right, somebody who wants to learn something new, is it as hard as it looks?
Honestly, it's something that it's not as hard as it looks.
Okay.
But the more you practice, what's really beautiful about Palestinian music and Palestinian folklore is the steps follow the beat. So all of our steps, we have Inzil, which is like a 1-2 step, and we have Belbil, which is 3 steps.
Cool.
They go off of the drums in the songs.
Okay.
And over time, you're able to pick up, a lot of our students are able to pick up on when to transition these steps or what's next. They can hear it in the song, so it becomes very fluid for them. But it can be intimidating, and that's why through Firqat al-Watan, we try to do some community workshops for people to come in and learn. And it's really just a good exercise. Lets our kids get their energy out. We have 55 to 60 kids, and before COVID, we had up to honestly 80 kids coming in and out of our facility. And it's something that everyone looks forward to every week. We have our elders who come in. A lot of the grandparents of our Depke kids come in and sit with my own grandmother in the living room. And then we have our children going in and out every Saturday. It's something they look forward to. And it's a really good workout. I'm not going to lie. I'm sweating the whole day Saturday. But it's honestly such a big joy. We start at 1 p.m. and we go until 8:30 p.m. This is all voluntary. It's for free. Our kids do not pay, but we do have kind of a limit of how many children we can accept, and then we do have a wait list that goes into the next year of who we can bring in. But it's something every Saturday we get together and preparing for a showcase that we do at the end of the year, and it's a good way to stay fit. Good way to make friends, and just a good way to be with your community after not really having that kind of outlet during the week.
Yeah, and a great way to understand and to connect with the diverse Palestinian community and Arab American community, because there are so many contributions that we've been given from the Palestinian community that really should be highlighted, right, and celebrated. So this is one of those opportunities to do so, which is why we wanted to bring you guys both on. So we appreciate you so much for not only helping us to educate ourselves, but also our viewers, and to provide an opportunity for folks that is different, right, here in Charlotte, that you don't get everywhere else. So that is another unique thing. So I'll just open the floor last to ask you anything that I missed, Layla and Deanna, that you guys wanted to speak on or to elaborate on.
I think I did want to touch on a couple of things. So within our community, we have contributed so much. I mean, we are your doctors, your salesmen, your lawyers, your therapists, your caregivers here in Charlotte. We are entrepreneurs. You know, my grandfather he grew up in Palestine, but he moved here at 17, and he went to high school in Wilmington. So Charlotte is home to us, and we've seen how the Arab community has really grown and flourished here. I think we have a very beautiful community who wants to continue to give to Charlotte, who wants to foster community and to be a part of the greater Charlotte community in itself. And touching on this, Kahwa Collective is a piece and a reflection of Charlotte United for Palestine. Over the last 2 years, you know, as Palestinians living in the West, we've seen a horrifying genocide take place over our screens, and to find outlets like a coffee club to join and to communicate with others in our communities, or to really cater to our kids with Firqat al-Watan and our youth to make sure that we're still showing up for them has been such a huge thing. But with saying this, I think that we would be missing something huge if we also didn't recognize what is happening in Charlotte, especially over the last week with our Latino and Hispanic community here. When we talk about intersectional struggles and intersectional experiences, we see a huge tie with the Hispanic community and the Palestinian community, and our shared immigrant families. And we did want to, you know, provide our solidarity with them today while we're here, and to just make it known that the Arab community truly cares about Charlotte and all of our community members here, and we hope to continue to contribute and to make sure that we are accessible and able to be a firm space for others to lean on. And yeah, we're just very thankful to WCNC and to you all for having us here today. And this is the start of how we make it known of our contributions and how we make it known that we are a resource.
Right, and to be you know, make it known that you, not only can you have pride in your ethnicity and in the culture that you bring, but also to still love America as well. And so I think that's what provides this opportunity, right, to understand the fabric that makes up America, that there are so many different peoples and different faces that we should be thankful for, that have come here and provided and contributed in so many different ways, and have been doing so for hundreds of years, right? So this is nothing different, but I think, you know, what we're seeing is different, and it seems like a lot of young individuals and people all over the scale are meeting the moment, and so it's great to hear. You know, we had a pretty candid conversation from our 3 to 4 o'clock hour, and I shared in that time that I have been traveling with a passport for quite some time, and I think it goes without saying, right, in some respects, that those are the things that some Americans are having to do. We shouldn't have to, but I guess that's the world that we're living in right now. And so it is good to hear from different backgrounds, different perspectives, because that, although I'm not saying this is a discussion we either agree or disagree on, we can have these discussions and still agree and still be kind to one another, or disagree, right? So it's again great to have different cultures and backgrounds, because that's what America has been about, a melting pot of different individuals doing so many different things. So again, we appreciate both of you for being here, and again, educating us. Thank you so much for allowing us to learn a little bit from you both, and for not making me butcher some of those amazing, just awesome things that you guys do, not only in the collective, but just across the community. So appreciate both your time, and thank you again. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break, folks, and be back right after this.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Colin and Jeff.
All right, we're back, guys. We're going to go to Charlotte Douglas. They are preparing, as you know, for the holiday rush, and the FAA just saying that the skies are opening back up. Schedules will be back on track, which is great news ahead of the holiday rush. We're going to go to this as their preparations are already underway.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today as we gear up for what will be a busy Thanksgiving travel season. My name is Ted Kaplan, STEDKAPLAN, and I'm the Charlotte Douglas International Airport's Chief Business and Innovation Officer. CLT is prepared to welcome nearly 2 million passengers between November 20th and December 1st, many of whom will be experiencing our newly expanded and renovated terminal lobby for the first time. This constitutes an approximate 10% reduction from last year's record-breaking travel numbers. Nearly 9,000 aircraft will depart during this period. This will be the first major holiday post-construction with all 3 security checkpoints operating at full capacity. We anticipate 430 passengers traveling through our checkpoints during the November 20th, December 1st period, which is roughly equivalent to last year this same time. The busiest travel days of this period will be November 29th through December 1st. The Saturday, Sunday, and Monday following Thanksgiving, each with more than 84,000 passengers traveling through the airport. The busiest of these days will be Sunday, November 30th, with approximately 181,000 total travelers. The recent federal shutdown certainly presented a considerable challenge across the national aviation system and at this airport, but we do not anticipate significant impacts at CLT during this holiday week as a result of any lingering fallout from the shutdown. Our focus this season is on giving every traveler a safe and smooth trip. We're working closely with our federal and airline partners to keep operations running smoothly and efficiently. We want to sincerely thank and express our appreciation for our partners at the TSA, the FAA, and the airlines for their continued dedication and professionalism, especially over the last month and a half. They're working hard behind the scenes every day so that travelers can depend on a safe and reliable journey. A few travel tips for passengers as they come to Charlotte this season. We understand that some travelers may feel nervous after the shutdown, and our message is simple. Plan ahead and allow extra time. Check your flight status directly with the airline. Use the CLT Airport app for parking, maps, and checkpoint wait times. Parking will be in very high demand this season, as it is every Thanksgiving season. Book in advance at parkclt.com or through the app to guarantee a spot. TSA lines may be slow at times. Please show patience and kindness to frontline staff as you travel through the checkpoints. In October, wait times averaged about 10 minutes at standard checkpoints and under 5 minutes at pre-check. Thank you to our entire CLT team, as well as our airline and federal partners, for your hard work and care. For our customers, holiday travel truly takes a team. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I'll now turn it over to Pasquale Alvarez at American Airlines.
Thank you, Ted. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Pasquale Alvarez, American Airlines Managing Director of Customer Care here at Charlotte Airport. My team and I have the honor of being some of the first to welcome customers to Charlotte Airport as they begin their travel journey with Charlotte's hometown airline. I'm excited to share American is ready to get customers to their Thanksgiving table following the government shutdown related travel disruptions for the industry. Throughout those unprecedented times, our focus continued to be on recovery, reliability, and more importantly, resilience. In fact, American's operation stood out, delivering leading on-time departure and arrival performance amongst the 3 major airlines. Throughout the time in which the FAA issued an ordinance on flight reductions. Now that we have returned to operating a full schedule, American's Charlotte hub is prepared to operate nearly 8,000 scheduled flights throughout the Thanksgiving travel period. It's part of our commitment to deliver a safe and reliable operation, and that goal wouldn't be possible without the dedication and support of more than 15,500 team members who call the Queen City home. The close collaboration amongst our teams helped to produce results we can be proud of, and that includes achieving Charlotte's best baggage handling performance for October and maintaining the same positive momentum as we head into the holidays. Every bag, every customer, every interaction is important to ensuring that we offer an enjoyable experience from check-in to takeoff. Through new technology to assist with customer connections, revamped mobile app, self-service kiosk, and additional boarding time, these are just a few examples of how American is investing in caring for you on your life's journey. Also new this holiday season, we're excited to launch several new destinations beginning next month, including Gateway Ski Country in Aspen and Vail, as well as an escape to warmer in Palm Springs, Florida. Customers now have the option to enjoy more than 170 destinations American serves nonstop from Charlotte, whether it involves visiting family and friends or closing the year out with a final vacation. We encourage everyone to be prepared to downloading the American Airlines mobile app, in addition to enrolling in our AA Advantage loyalty program to earn miles and enjoy travel perks. We're at the start of yet another fun and exciting holiday season and look forward to delivering to our customers with support from our partners at CLT, TSA, CBP, and local law enforcement. I'd now like to introduce Lieutenant Chad Strong with the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Lieutenant Chad Strong with Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department's Airport Division. As everybody has already said, we're anticipating a higher than normal travel volume on the days preceding and after the travel holidays. So what we're asking is that everyone try to plan ahead, arrive a few hours early, and try not to be rushed. Understand that we as a division, we are deploying additional officers, so we will have officers as needed out in front of Josh Birmingham Parkway and on Wilkinson Boulevard. If traffic does tend to back up, just please be patient, follow the traffic signals, try not to enter the intersection and block down the intersection if you are coming in and you see traffic start to back up on Josh Birmingham. Inside the terminal, we're asking that everybody please check, double check, triple check your baggage and your personal items and your person for any TSA prohibited items, particularly firearms. Please remember that firearms are prohibited in the airport along with magazines, along with ammunition. We don't want anybody's travel to be delayed because you inadvertently forgot that you left a firearm in your bag. So what we're just asking is be responsible gun owners, know where your firearms are, and make sure you don't bring them to the airport. And just like everyone else said, we ask that everybody be patient. We will have additional officers in the concourses, so should you need anything, we will be available. Just reach out to any officers for anything you might need, but just have patience. Please understand and just be kind to all our CLT partners and everybody you encounter. Thank you.
All right, so that concludes our formal remarks. We're going to take some questions. Do we have the stand? All right, and then I'll ask Ted and Pasquale and Lieutenant Strong to come up here and we'll take questions. Say it in here, Ted.
First of all, I'd like to ask Ted and Pasquale, did you say there'd be a decline in passenger traffic through Charlotte at Thanksgiving? Did I hear you say that?
Yes, sir. We are seeing a marginal decline in traffic year over year.
Year over year.
I thought you said 10%. But
10% year over year.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's not marginal.
I would characterize it as marginal.
And I'd like to ask Pasquale, is that being seen in American stats, and if so, why?
Can you repeat the question?
Is there a 10% decline in your traffic here at Thanksgiving? And if so, why is there such a large decline?
We're not seeing that fully materializing 10%, and we're actually very optimistic of what our future bookings will look like, particularly for the Christmas timeframe. We're still operating 8,000 flights a day throughout this time, so we're optimistic that our volumes will continue to rebound.
But it is down 10%.
Not nearly 10%, but very close.
In Charlotte or everywhere, or system-wide?
Just Charlotte Airport.
And you have 700 departures a day here?
Close, 658 to be precise.
And one more for you.
Sure.
Is Charlotte going to become a 787 pilot base?
I'll get back to you on that.
Anybody else? Here, back here.
Yeah, I'm curious. I guess this would be for maybe the officer, Lieutenant Strong and Ted. I think it was last Thanksgiving that we had a lot of traffic in front of the airport, and you mentioned there are going to be some extra officers. Anything else that you've done or that just gives you confidence that this will be a smoother process in getting people onto the property this year?
So as I mentioned, we are going to be rotating officers out in case we do see traffic backups to help deal with that flow. We're also working with City Department of Transportation to try to see if we can get our officers trained on the ability to use the traffic control devices so that they can control the traffic signals themselves. So if they see backups in one direction, they can kind of have an easier way to let it run and try to ease that a little faster.
I would also just add that in addition to everything that the lieutenant just said, that I think with construction being fully complete, both in terms of the curb in front of the building as well as everything inside the building, I think it will just make everything flow that much smoother, which I believe will take pressure off of both the land side and the passenger flow through the terminal. Will greatly improve and relieve any of those pressures that we experienced last year or the year before.
Did we have that passenger walkway over the? Yeah. Did we have the walkway over the traffic last year Thanksgiving?
We did.
But I think what you'll notice this year, no construction walls, everything, all of the additional indicators of construction, all of that's been removed. So I think it really opens up the space and gives us full availability of everything. And of course, now we have all 3 checkpoints operational, all lanes operational, all lanes staffed.
We didn't have that last Thanksgiving.
Nope.
No.
Good. All right. I believe that is it. Y'all are welcome to stay, get your B-roll, whatever you need, but thank you so much.
All right, folks, we're going to take a 2-minute break. We'll come back after this with Attorney General Pam Bondi. U.S. Attorney Pam Bondi today just announcing that the DOJ is in coordination with the FBI. They brought charges and raised rewards connected to a case to a former Olympic athlete a turned alleged drug trafficker. That's Ryan Wedding. We're going to get more information from Pam Bondi on this right now.
All right. Good afternoon. Today, the Justice Department is proud to announce new developments in our ongoing investigation into Ryan James Wedding. Wedding is the former Olympian from Canada who is now the leader of a transnational criminal enterprise. He's currently on the FBI's, and has been, top 10 most wanted list. He controls one of the most prolific and violent drug trafficking organizations in this world. He is currently the largest distributor of cocaine in Canada. Wedding collaborates closely with the Sinaloa Cartel, a foreign terrorist organization, to flood not only American but also Canadian communities with cocaine coming from Colombia. His organization is responsible for importing approximately 60 metric tons of cocaine a year into Los Angeles via semi-trucks from Mexico. To put that in perspective, 60 metric tons is approximately the weight of 40 standard cars. Imagine that. That's how much cocaine, the weight of 40 cars, he is bringing into our country a year. In the course of the investigation, more than 35 individuals have been indicted. Over 2,000 kilos and numerous weapons have been seized. Approximately $3.2 million in cryptocurrency has been recovered, and over $13 million in physical assets has been confiscated. Wedding is also accused of murdering a federal witness after he was indicted in 2024. He used a Canadian website called The Dirty News to post photographs of the witness and his wife in order to locate him, which ultimately succeeded. The witness was gunned down in a restaurant in Medellin before he could testify against Wedding. Today, we're unsealing a new indictment, charging Wedding with 2 additional counts of witness tampering and intimidation, murder, money laundering, and drug trafficking. The website that was used to hunt down this witness and his wife, that has since been removed. That has been deleted. Protecting federal witnesses from retaliation is core to the department's mission. It's about individual safety, but more, it's about protecting the rule of law itself. The new indictment also includes several other individuals involved in the murder of the witness and other crimes in connection with this criminal enterprise. You're going to be hearing more about that from the people behind me. We're working very closely with our partners at the State Department and the Department of Treasury. The State Department has raised the reward for Ryan Wedding from $10 million to $15 million. We're offering $2 million rewards for information leading to the arrest of those involved in the murder of the witness. The Treasury Department's Foreign Asset Control is seizing assets belonging to approximately 19 of the targets associated with Wedding's criminal enterprise, worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I want to thank the FBI, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Central District of California, as well as our Canadian law enforcement partners for their steadfast commitment to bring Ryan Wedding to justice. I also want to thank the Colombian National Police, who have greatly helped us. Let me be clear, drugs are killing our kids. Whether you are a street-level drug dealer, a common street-level drug dealer, or an international drug kingpin, we are coming for you, we will find you, and you will be accountable and held to justice for your crimes. It's killing our kids, it's killing our friends, it's killing our relatives, And this guy is responsible for a tremendous amount of that horror. President Trump gave us one mission: make America safe again. And we will not sit idly by and let these drug dealers continue to do business, run roughshod on our neighborhoods, and put the American people and our Canadian people in harm's way. To the American people, the Justice Department will use every tool available to catch these monsters. Thank you to all of our partners in this fight. From day one, Ryan Wedding has been on the top of Director Patel's radar to get him. We have talked about him constantly, and I'd now like to introduce Director Patel, who has done a tremendous job in his efforts to catch these monsters. Director Patel.
Thank you, General. As the Attorney General stated, our mission since the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General and this tremendous team was assembled by President Trump is to safeguard American lives. Already this year, thanks to the Department of Justice's leadership, in combination with the interagency, including this FBI, have seized record amounts of narcotics, to include record amounts of cocaine, including record amounts of fentanyl. All of these narcotics are enabled by our enemies to go after our youth and our communities and kill and destroy American civilization. Under President Trump's leadership, we have been shutting that down since day one. As the Attorney General mentioned, this is an indictment, an additional indictment, an arrest of multiple subjects, nearly a dozen more, and that brings the total to approximately 36 indicted, and you'll hear the details from the tremendous team established here by the Attorney General. Most importantly, you do not get to be a drug kingpin and evade the law. Make no mistake about it. Ryan Wedding is a modern-day iteration of Pablo Escobar. He's a modern-day iteration of El Chapo Guzman. This Justice Department and this FBI will work with our Canadian counterparts and the government officials across the world to bring him to justice. He is responsible for engineering a narco-trafficking and narco-terrorism program that we have not seen in a long time. He will not evade justice. We are here today because this Department of Justice, behind Attorney General's brilliant leadership and the Deputy Attorney General, have made it clear to the American people with the indictments they have brought that law enforcement and agencies like this FBI will lead the effort to go out there and make sure these animals are brought to justice. And that's exactly what we will do. This step, this interagency step, is a huge, huge step towards obtaining justice for so many American lives lost and so many American lives saved. Thanks to the courageous efforts of law enforcement. This is what a great team looks like, working together for the American people under the motto that President Trump set forth to make America safe again. It's incredibly humbling for this FBI to be a part of it and to lead out the efforts on Ryan Wedding. And for those of you out there that have any information on Ryan Wedding, now is the time to speak up. Now is the time to help us. This FBI has always engaged the public around the world for their assistance in bringing some of the world's most dangerous criminals and terrorists to justice, and we are doing so again today. He will not evade justice. He will not evade our capture. He will not evade arrest, and he will not evade prosecution. Because of the Attorney General's leadership here today, we are taking a huge step in that direction, and I'm honored to be a part of this FBI and leading its men and women in law enforcement on a daily basis. It's really one of the best things I've ever encountered, and the teamwork is something I just want to stress more than anything. Our federal, state, and local partners have bonded together like never before to bring you these results that we've talked about these last 8-9 months. And today is just yet another example of a historic achievement for the Trump administration in safeguarding American lives. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to the Assistant Director in charge of our Los Angeles field office, Akil Davis, for some more details about the FBI's work. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Akil Davis, Assistant Director in charge of the FBI's Los Angeles Division. Today we are here to highlight the success of the FBI's Homeland Security Task Force, in which this operation fell under. Our Homeland Security Task Force is made up of several federal agencies along with state and local counterparts. We work closely with RCMP, as you're going to hear from later, to target the Ryan Wedding drug trafficking organization. Make no mistake, Ryan Wedding is extremely dangerous. He's extremely violent, and he's extremely wealthy. He's being protected by the Sinaloa cartel, along with others in the country of Mexico. We will find him, and we will bring him to justice. He is so important to the efforts of the United States government that the State Department has put up a $15 million reward for his capture. And let me say that again, a $15 million reward for his capture. Ryan Wedding has orchestrated murders against his rivals, against cooperating witnesses, against anybody that crosses his path. And as you have heard already, he has trafficked record levels of drugs, fentanyl, heroin, cocaine, methamphetamine, all the things that are rampant on our streets. He has been a part of that and a main cause of that. And that is why you see so much resources dedicated to dismantling his organization, which we have done mostly here today. We will capture Ryan Wedding. We will bring him to justice. If you have information leading to his capture, you can contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI or tips.fbi.gov. Make no mistake, Ryan Wedding is dangerous. Do not approach him on your own. Please call us and let us do our job. Thank you. I will now turn it over to United States Attorney Bill Essayli.
Bill Essayli came from California to be here today. That's how important this case is. And President Trump, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, and I are thrilled to have Bill Essayli on our team. I think Deputy Attorney General Blanche talks to Bill Essayli daily, and I talk to him at least once a week. He is doing an incredible job to keep America safe and to keep Californians safe. So it's my honor now to have Bill join us.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm Bill Essayli. I am the First Assistant U.S. Attorney at the Central District of California, the leader of that office. As the Attorney General said, today an indictment was unsealed against Ryan James Wedding, a former snowboarder who was once an Olympic athlete and who is now on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list and the subject of a $15 million reward. Wedding and 14 other defendants, including a Canadian lawyer and a Latin pop star, are federally charged with orchestrating the January 2025 murder of a witness who was shot 5 times in the head at a restaurant in Colombia and who died instantly. Wedding placed a bounty on the victim's head in the erroneous belief that the victim's death would result in the dismissal of criminal charges against him and his international drug trafficking ring, and would further ensure that he was not extradited to the United States. He was wrong. The murder also involved a Canadian website, as the Attorney General discussed, which claimed to be a news outlet. This so-called news outlet, the Dirty News, was paid by a co-defendant to post a photograph of the victim, witness, and his wife online so that he could be hunted down and killed. Law enforcement yesterday seized that website pursuant to a judicially authorized warrant. That website no longer exists. I want to say this to Mr. Wedding and to the other defendants involved in his drug trafficking organization. Your days are numbered. Our agents and prosecutors will relentlessly pursue you and anyone who assists you and bring you to justice, not just anywhere. We're going to bring you to justice in the United States of America. And I want to just add a couple things here. Mr. Wedding is the most prolific cocaine trafficker in Canada, but he used Southern California, my district, as a hub for his logistics to move the cocaine. The reason he selected California is because of California's weak laws on crime. They knew if they were popped with cocaine in California, they probably wouldn't get much of a sentence. But they made one big miscalculation. They didn't think about us, the U.S. Department of Justice, Attorney General Bondi, and what this administration would do to individuals like him who use the United States to traffic their drugs. And he will be brought to justice. I'm confident of that. I want to note the lawyer that we arrested yesterday. We arrested 12 people yesterday in an international takedown. You're going to hear more about that. One of which is this lawyer in Canada. his lawyer advised them to kill this witness. His lawyer told him if you kill this witness, the case would be dismissed. That lawyer is now in custody, and he'll be extradited and brought to justice here in the United States. So all this to say, it doesn't matter who you are or where you are. When the United States government and this Department of Justice decides we're going after someone, we're going to get you. America always gets its guy. And let me tell you this as well. Not only do we have a mandate from the Attorney General and as the Attorney General and the FBI Director said, to make America safe again by the President, through this operation today, we're making North America safe again. And with that, I'll turn it over to Chris Landberg, Senior Bureau Official at the Department of State.
Great, thank you. Good morning. So I'm Chris Landberg, head of the International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Bureau at the Department of State. I want to thank the Attorney General for hosting us today for this important event. So today, the Department of State, as you've heard, is continuing to fulfill one of President Trump's first promises when he took office, to stop the brutal criminals who are trafficking deadly drugs into our country. In coordination with the FBI and our partners in Mexico and Canada, the Department of State is increasing our reward offer, as you have heard, to up to $15 million for information leading to the arrest and/or conviction of Ryan James Wedding. This is a $5 million increase from our previous reward offer. Wedding abandoned an Olympic-level athletic path for depraved violence and cocaine trafficking. He worked closely with the foreign terrorist organization Sinaloa Cartel, as you've heard, to traffic bulk quantities of cocaine from South America to the United States and Canada. As you have also heard, his heinous crimes did not end there. In January 2025, Wedding allegedly ordered the murder of a U.S. federal witness in Medellin, Colombia. In addition to our focus on taking down Wedding, we are offering rewards up to $2 million each for information leading to the unknown assassins responsible for that January 2025 murder. We hope the public will recognize these criminals from surveillance photographs taken the day of the assassination in Medellin and will come forward to identify them. These brazen, illegal activities will be stopped, and the State Department will continue to apply all its tools, including rewards programs, to pursue violent criminals, drug traffickers, and those who assist narco-terrorist organizations. We will continue to build a stronger, safer, and more prosperous hemisphere in the Americas by ensuring that no one, not even former Olympians, is above the law. Thank you very much. And now I'd like to introduce John Hurley, Undersecretary for Terrorism and Financial Intelligence at the Department of Treasury.
Morning, everyone. Thank you, Attorney General Bondi, for all the work you do to keep our communities safe. Today, we're leveraging Treasury's longstanding counter-narcotics tools alongside law enforcement and international partners for maximum effect. Under President Trump's leadership, alongside these partners, Treasury is targeting one of the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives, Ryan Wedding. This action is part of a broader administration effort to stop the flow of deadly narcotics into the United States, a crisis that has taken far too many American lives. Ryan Wedding is responsible for moving, as the Attorney General said, multi-ton quantities of cocaine through Colombia and Mexico for distribution in the United States and Canada. He's also believed to have ordered dozens of murders around the world. Wedding operates through a complex web of individuals and companies to launder his drug proceeds, using everything from front businesses to luxury cars to cryptocurrency. Today, Treasury's Office of Foreign Asset Control imposed financial sanctions on Wedding and his network. These targets span the globe and have enabled his criminal enterprise by laundering money, providing protection and intelligence, assisting in murders, and even training hitmen. Our sanctions are designed to cut Wedding and his network off from the U.S. and international financial system and help put an end to his deadly activities. Most importantly for Treasury, U.S. and international businesses are now on notice. Should you choose to assist Wedding by materially supporting him and his network, we will find you, cut you off from the U.S. financial system, and help our DOJ partners bring you to justice as well. I'll close with this. President Trump, Attorney General Bondi, Director Patel, our other interagency partners, and Secretary Bessent are leading the fight against narcotics trafficking. The Trump administration will never stop fighting to protect the American people, and we at Treasury are very proud to contribute to that mission. And I'll be followed by Michael Duham, the Commissioner of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Mike Duhame, Commissioner of the RCMP. I want to begin by thanking Attorney General Pam Bondi for inviting me for this special announcement. I'd quite say historical announcement as well, considering what we're dealing with. I'm pleased to be here today to highlight significant results by the FBI and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, better known as the RCMP. As Director Patel mentioned, the RCMP and FBI have been working together to disrupt and target organized crime affecting both our countries and other countries around the world. No single agency or nation can combat transnational organized crime alone. This is why strong, trusted partnerships are essential, just as we continue to illustrate in this file. As part of the FBI Operation Giant Slalom, the highest level of organized crime were targeted for their involvement in a range of serious crimes, as you heard earlier, from drug trafficking to murder to conspiracy to commit murder and continuing criminal enterprise. The RCMP in Canada, as well as its office located in Bogota, Los Angeles, and Mexico, worked closely with the FBI throughout the investigation. Yesterday morning, the RCMP and Ontario Provincial Police proceeded by arresting 7 Canadians with ties to the Wedding organized crime group. I want to emphasize that our work is not done. Fugitive Ryan Wedding remains one of the top threats to Canadian public safety, and as per the previous indictment, continues to run an over $1 billion a year criminal enterprise. I would also like to take the opportunity to thank everyone in the RCMP, the FBI, and U.S. Department of Justice who have spent the last 2 years and countless of hours away from their family to get the job done when it looks at Operation Giant Slalom. Thank you for your partnership and protecting Canadians, Americans, and people around the world.
Thank you. There's one thing I wanted to add. This is an announcement, and we're up on a hard stop. We can take a few questions if you have them. But first, wait, I want, Director Patel, will you add something about his description for us, please? I don't know if we really got that he could also change his description, or Akil. Go ahead. Thanks.
We turn those around.
Yeah. Yes, let's turn these around.
Ryan Wedding is approximately 6'4" and 230 to 250 pounds. As you see in these pictures here, please understand that he might change his hair color, his appearance, and do anything to avoid capture. But someone like Ryan Wedding is going to stick out in Mexico, and that is why we're soliciting the public's help to try to identify, locate him, and arrest him. Again, there's a $15 million reward for information leading to his arrest and capture. Thank you.
Questions?
General Bondi, on topic first, it was mentioned that the Sinaloa cartel is helping to protect him. Are Mexican authorities cooperating with the U.S. and helping to secure his arrest? And I also have an off topic as well.
Yes, it's a short answer. Do you want to add something, Akil?
Sure. We are working with our legal attaché office housed at the embassy in Mexico City to try to locate and arrest Wedding. Again, due to significant protection by the Sinaloa cartel and others, that has been difficult.
And that's why it's so important that you get his picture out there. He could change his hair color. He could change his appearance. You know, he's got some powerful people protecting him. But this is $1 billion a year of drugs that he is charged with being responsible for. $1 billion. Go ahead, now, off topic.
On the Epstein files, does the new investigation by the Southern District of New York U.S. Attorney prevent the department from releasing all of the remaining files?
So we have released over 33,000 Epstein documents to the Hill, and we'll continue to follow the law and to have maximum transparency. Also, we will always encourage all victims to come forward.
What are the next steps, Madam Attorney General, for the DOJ regarding what we assume President Trump will sign into law with the Epstein files? Is this going to be on the Justice Department website? What are you doing here over the next 30 days as we understand it?
We will continue to follow the law with maximum transparency while protecting victims.
Yeah.
When you say follow the law, Madam Attorney General, do you mean that you will provide all the files by 30 days?
We will follow the law. The law passed both chambers last evening. It has not yet been signed, but we will continue to follow the law, again, while protecting victims, but also providing maximum transparency.
To that. Madam Attorney General, the DOJ statement earlier this year saying that the files would not release mentioned the fact that the review of the documents and the evidence did not suggest that any additional investigation of third parties was warranted. What changed since then that you launched this investigation?
Information that has come for information. There's information new information, additional information, and again, we will continue to follow the law, to investigate any leads. If there are any victims, we encourage all victims to come forward, and we will continue to provide maximum transparency under the law.
On Ryan Wedding, Madam General, on Ryan Wedding, you mentioned...
Madam Attorney General, the issue with the new information that you just indicated, is the department seeking information perhaps from the Epstein estate because Mr. Blanche did not have that information when he interviewed Ghislaine Maxwell? What new information, and would you limit the new investigation to just those named persons that the president talked about, or is this a broad, open-ended investigation?
I would refer to the Deputy Attorney General's post that he put out on X, and we're not going to say anything else on that because now it is a pending investigation in the Southern District of New York. But you're on point. Hard stop. One more question? Sure.
President Trump has previously said that he may consider authorizing military strikes within Mexico to go after cartels. Given the importance of this case, I'm wondering if the DOD has been engaged on the search for Ryan.
Yeah, we're not going to discuss anything with the Department of War right now, but right now I will tell you it is the Treasury Department, the State Department, our office, the FBI, working with Canadian authorities and working with the Mexican authorities hand in hand, and that includes the Mexican military. You had one more on Wedding?
Yes, please.
Sure.
CBC, you mentioned a Canadian lawyer. If you can tell us more about it, the extradition of a Canadian lawyer. And also a question for Commissioner Michael Duhem on 7 other individuals who are linked to Ryan Wedding. If we can tell us on the extradition, what are the next steps?
Sure. Do you want to take the Canadian? I think Bill will take the attorney because that attorney is being prosecuted in California, and then I'll turn it over to Director Duhem.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, the attorney, he's named in the indictment that was unsealed today. His name is Deepak Pardkar, P-A-R-A-D-K-A-R. He is a lawyer. I'll have the Canadian Police Commissioner provide more details. He was one of the people arrested yesterday. I understand he initially refused to come out of his home. He put up a little bit of resistance, but he was eventually taken into custody. It was very important for us to get him because when you have people who are officers of the court, who are lawyers, we take oaths to protect the public and defend the law. And when you have lawyers who are assisting international drug trafficking players on how to evade law enforcement and to murder witnesses, we can't have that stand. So it was very important to us that the lawyer be charged and the lawyer be brought to justice. I'll have the commissioner speak about the extradition process. There were about, I believe, 7 individuals that were arrested in Canada. We are still looking for one more individual in Canada, and they will all be extradited here to the U.S., where they will be brought to the Central District of California, and they will be charged and tried here in our court system. So I'll let the commissioner speak more about the arrests and the extradition process.
So thank you. I think he's covered quite a bit there with regards to the next steps and the ideas. Yesterday, we engaged in an operation following information that we received and arrest 7 out of 8 Canadians. All of them are currently locked up, waiting the extradition process. So they'll have a fair process in front of a judge, and then our Department of Justice will communicate with the justice here, and it will go through the steps of the extradition. But the premise is everybody will be charged in the United States. So, and you had something about 7. Is there something else?
You know more about those 7 Canadians?
Well, the 7 Canadians were arrested in the province of Quebec, some in Ontario, some in Alberta. We still have eyes on another person, but they are being charged conspiracy to commit murder, trafficking, as I listed earlier, conspiracy, drug trafficking, and murder as well.
And the timeline of the extradition?
Well, that's before the courts, and I don't control that, unfortunately, because it happened tomorrow if it's just to me.
Any chance you can say that in French very quickly?
Très rapidement, oui, 7 individus ont été arrêtés, 7 sur 8 ont été arrêtés au Canada. Dans la province de Québec, dans la province d'Ontario, ainsi qu'en Alberta, nous sommes à la recherche d'une dernière personne. Les gens sont arrêtés, les 7 sont arrêtés, sont en prison présentement et attendent le processus d'extradition pour les ramener ici à faire face à la justice américaine. Merci.
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Do you want to take it?
I didn't hear the second.
Yeah, go
What
ahead.
was the question? The Attorney General has previously said that she would refuse to release any information that would re-victimize victims, and I'm just wondering whether that stands, after the passage of this law.
Well, the law isn't signed into law yet, and of course we're going to protect victims, and the law as written allows us to do that. The law has carve-outs to protect victims and to protect information surrounding victims, which is what we do not only in this case but in every case. So it's a fair question, but neither the House nor the Senate's version, the same version, suggested otherwise. So
Thank you all.
All right, everyone, we're going to cut from this to go back to this breaking news situation that is happening in the Steel Creek neighborhood. And you can see here through that box, we'll pull it up for you here on Router 2. You can see there is a heavy police presence. That is the SWAT team, from what we've been told, gearing up apparently to try and take someone into custody. We are trying to learn from CMPD who this person is. They keep repeating a name over the loudspeaker, trying to get this person to come out. But apparently, like I said, it seems to be the SWAT team gearing up for some type of situation in the Steel Creek neighborhood. We had said about an hour or so ago that there was a large police presence at this neighborhood along West Boulevard in Steel Creek. So we're going to continue to monitor this situation. We have not heard much else from police on this right now. So hoping to hear something once this wraps up from them. It seems like a negotiator's trying to help things move along on scene, from what our photographer has told us. So we'll continue to follow the situation, take a 2-minute break, and we'll be back right after this. Thanks for coming back with us, guys. We're going to go to a press conference from the president. There's been a lot of talk about the president meeting with Saudi Arabia's crown prince. We'll get more on the meeting right now from him.
Thank you very much. And it's great to be here today at the U.S.-Saudi Investment Forum. Great group of people. The biggest, you got the biggest in the room. But some of the most talented, maybe most importantly, the word talent, successful and innovative business leaders anywhere on the planet. Whether you have come from near or far, we're delighted to have you invest right here in the hottest country anywhere in the world. Every leader is saying the United States we're the hottest country in the world. We're going to keep it that way too. But this has been, according to those that seem to say it, and I will say it, I would never say a thing like that because I want to be very modest. I always want to be modest as I can. They say this has been the best 9 months that any president has ever had. I'd say that's pretty good, right? But we've had a great 9 months. Now we have to do it more than a few more times. We just have to keep it going. We'll keep it going. I want to thank my friend, a great gentleman, Crown Prince Mohammed of Saudi Arabia, for his bold leadership and deep commitment to the ties between our two countries. Thank you. Thank you. Great gentleman. Yesterday we had a phenomenal visit at the White House celebrating the 80-year bond between the United States and Saudi Arabia. We ended with an unbelievable show last night in a room that was far too small, but the next time you're here, you'll have a much bigger room. It's gonna be much bigger. I made more enemies last night by we had 119 people. That was a record for the room. So they've wanted for 150 years. They've been clamoring for a ballroom at the White House, and we're giving them one. We're giving them one plus, and it'll be something. But you'll be here. You'll be among the first, if not the first, if you'd like. You know, we'll work it out. But you had a lot of people that wanted to be there. They really would have witnessed something that was really incredible. The entertainment last night was incredible, including our great opera singer, but including the military. The talent and the military musically is also incredible. So it was great to be with you last night. I think it was something to behold. We officially designated the kingdom yesterday as the major non-NATO ally. That's a big deal. That's actually a very big deal. It's a great honor. That happens seldom, very seldom, if at all. So I just want to congratulate you on that. That's a sign of trust. We signed a historic strategic defense agreement yesterday also, and that's something that is likewise very rare, and it's a very honored company that you're in. And we're going to be selling Saudi Arabia some of the greatest military equipment ever built. We build the best military equipment in the world by far. That's why we do the most business, including nearly 300 American-made tanks, is what you're buying, among many other things, the airplanes, and we're working on getting that approved very quickly. It's already approved, but don't worry. We have to go through a process. The process will take, Elon knows, the process will take about, would you say 24 hours? I think so. You're in good shape, very good shape. The partnership between our two nations is among the most consequential in the entire world, and together the Crown Prince and I are making an alliance stronger and more powerful than it's ever been before. We've had good relationships and frankly not good. You didn't have a good relationship with Barack Hussein Obama. You didn't have a good relationship with Sleepy Joe Biden. But you had a great relationship with me, and now it's as good as it was, and probably even better if you think about it, because we took the dark cloud away from your country. It was called Iran and its nuclear capability, and we obliterated that very quickly and strongly and powerfully. But that was a real cloud over the whole Middle East, and now they want to make a deal. They want to make a deal. They want to see if they can work out a deal with us, and we'll be doing that probably. But that was a terrible cloud that you had to live with for a long time. 22 years they were thinking about doing that, the B-2s. That was even before the B-2s. Those B-2s, what machines they were, they flew in, they were undetectable. Then they dropped their payload, and every single bomb hit its exact mark, which was a shaft going deep into the mountain. And every single one of them hit, and it was total obliteration. And then I was criticized by some of the fake news for saying the word obliteration was too strong, perhaps. They had no idea. Nobody saw it. 3 days later, when the Atomic Energy Commission went, they said it was total obliteration, beyond obliteration, they said. But they want to make a deal. We'll see what happens. This week, our countries also signed groundbreaking agreements on civil nuclear energy, critical minerals, and artificial intelligence. And I want to congratulate a lot of the great American leaders, business leaders that are in the room. And they'll do a great job for Saudi Arabia and for a lot of other people in the room that are buying your product, taking your product, and using your product. All of that is in addition to the $600 billion investment in the United States that Saudi Arabia announced during my unforgettable visit there last spring. Well, I said, could you try and get that up to $1 trillion? And yesterday, the Crown Prince announced that the number that they'll be investing in the United States is $1 trillion. So that's really an honor. And we just took a picture backstage with some of the great business leaders and some of the great people, friends of mine from your country, and beautiful picture. And while we were taking the picture, I said, could you make it 1.5 trillion? So he's got something to think about. I don't know. We'll get something. I think we'll get something, Scott, right? But many of you in the room are playing a key role in making these projects happen, and we're told that $270 billion in agreements and sales are being signed between dozens of companies, and that's just happening today, $270 billion. That's big stuff. So on behalf of the thousands of American workers who I care about most, I want to thank you for bringing all those jobs and all those great opportunities to America and bringing great wealth to America. We've become a very wealthy country. We have a couple of little things. We're waiting for a decision. We hope that's going to be good, but if it's not, we always find ways, we find ways, but we've done things that nobody thought were possible, and we're taking in trillions and trillions of dollars. Tariffs have been, frankly, the best thing that's ever happened to our country. They've always been used against us, and we never had people that were smart enough to use them in the opposite direction. But now you do, and we have taken in trillions of dollars, and it's been absolutely amazing. We're going to be doing a dividend to the people, low and middle income, moderate income people, of at least $2,000. In addition to that, we'll be paying down debt very substantially. It's the kind of money we're taking in. And really, countries that took advantage of us are no longer taking advantage of us. Friends, some of our friends treated us far worse than our enemies on trade anyway, and we've got that all straightened out. And everybody's happy. They respect us again. It's like one of those things. I think they like us better, and they actually respect us, and it works out much better for us, too. But I especially want to thank our numerous Saudi friends here today, including the ambassador to the United States, a friend of mine, Princess Rima. Thank you very much. Great job. Great representative you have. You sent a good representative. And many distinguished ministers and members of the cabinet, governor of the Public Investment Fund. Where's Yasser? Yasser's here someplace. Sometimes I see him dressed both ways. I don't know. It's cooler that way. I'd dress that way if I could. Yasser's terrific. He's a terrific man, actually. So thank you very much, Yasser. And Secretary Scott Bessent, who's been fantastic. Where's Scott? We're thinking about him for the Fed, but he wants no part of it. He likes being Secretary of the Treasury. I think we'll leave him. So let's cross your name off, right? Officially, right? Remember, you said that. I love the Fed job. To me, it's the easiest job in the world. You play golf for 28, 29 days, then you go and make a little speech, tell everybody, in the case of the current guy, the wrong information because he has no clue. But if you have good instincts, you know, it's all based on instincts. I see they want to hire 3,000.
Some breaking news, guys. We want to get to you really quickly. It looks like the president has just signed the bill to release the DOJ's Epstein files. It required Attorney General Pam Bondi to release all those unclassified records, but she needed the signature of the president, which she now has. There's been a lot of questions about what will be redacted, what will not, and it seems like some of these files could still be heavily redacted. It seems that we will just have to wait to get our hands and our eyes on these files, but they are expected to be released now that the president has signed this bill within the last 10 to 15 minutes. So we wanted to update you on the Epstein files that will be released in the days ahead by the DOJ now that the president has signed for that to be done. We're going to take a 2-minute break and be back after this. All right, we are back. We do want to update the breaking news situation that we had told you about in the Steel Creek area. Earlier, we had a shot with the SWAT team. They were gearing up in the middle of that shot. They have now moved that vehicle, and you can see Snoopy. That is that helicopter, the CMPD helicopter above. It is flying around as well, and it seems like this incident is escalating in the sense that SWAT team officials look like they are making some type of approach or tried to make an approach to the house that is in question here. We know, again, this is in the Steel Creek neighborhood. We've been trying to glean more information from CMPD, but have not been told anything about this. We learned about it because around 6 o'clock hour, we saw at least a number of police vehicles heading to this scene along West Boulevard in Steel Creek for this incident. And it seemed like at some point there was some type of negotiator trying to engage a person named Emmanuel. So we're trying to learn more from CMPD. They have a warrant for this person's arrest and a search warrant for the house, it seems like, but all information that we are learning at this moment. We will update you both here and on our 11 o'clock show once we get information confirmed from CMPD. We'll go back to President Trump's presser with U.S.-Saudi relations.
It should have cost $25 million to do. They should have spent $25 million. They're building a basement into the Potomac River. I could have told them that's very tough to do and it doesn't work and it's very expensive. But they're up to $4 billion headed by this clown. But we have 3,000, think of it, they want to hire 3,000 economists. So they took a poll and they interviewed 71 people. And of the 71 people, 2 people got it right. 2 people. One was a great economist whose name I won't tell you because I don't like him personally, but he is good. And the other one that got it the most right was a man named President Donald J. Trump. Do you believe it? Everyone else was wrong. And I didn't have an economist. Well, I had Scott. But we got it right, didn't we? Huh? We got everything right. Doug Burgum, where's Doug? Will you please drill a little bit faster? Between him and I'll tell you, you and Chris was great on television, and he's setting records. They're setting records, but I'll never be satisfied. Drill, you know, we got elected. Drill we must, I called it. Drill, baby, drill. Con Edison, a great utility from New York many years ago, they used to have it said, drill we must and dig we must. So when they were digging in a road, they'd have a sign, dig we must. Well, now we're putting those utilities to shame because I'm allowing all of those AI plants that are being built to build their own electric generating force, and they're building them like nobody's ever seen, and they're coming up with ideas and new contraptions like nobody's ever seen. And this way they can't blame me for not producing electric. I said, you produce it yourself. And actually, they didn't believe I was saying that because nobody ever thought of a thing like that. They're building a massive plant. They were going to hook it up to a 200-year-old grid. And you know that wasn't going to work because there's no way of doing that. No way we could have done that. And I had the idea. This was my idea, approved by a couple of people. I said, why wouldn't that happen? They're building a plant for $50 billion. You know, if you build a shopping center for $50 million, it's okay. It's not a bad shopping center. $500 million, you're talking about top of the line. $50 billion. So when it was first explained they're spending $50 billion, I said, no, you mean 50 million. No, sir, we mean 50 billion. And then I saw some of them that were the size of Manhattan. I said, they did mean 50 billion. And I said, well, what you're going to do is with that, how would you like to build your own electric generating plant? And they looked at me like I was crazy because something like that, they really didn't understand it. The smart guys, they didn't understand it. They said to me at the next meeting, sir, the biggest problem we have will be electricity. I said, you don't understand. I told you last week, you're going to build your own. I'm giving you approval to build your own plant, and you will be approved within a period of 2 to 3 weeks. It used to take 20 years prior to termination. In other words, you would wait 20 years and you wouldn't make it. You'd be voted down 5 to 4. I said, we're getting you approved in a 2-week, 3-week period. In fact, Lee Zeldin, one of the superstars of this administration, I said, Lee, if it's oil and gas, get them approved in 2 weeks. If it's nuclear, add another week. Because some are going nuclear, and they're doing, be careful, they better be careful, but they are going to be careful. They're the greatest people in the world. So now they come back and they actually believed it, and now they're being approved rapidly, and we have things being built, the likes of which nobody's ever seen. We're leading China by a lot in AI. And we're also bringing auto plants in from Canada and from Mexico. They took them, and they're all coming back. They're all coming back because of tariffs. If we didn't have tariffs, I mean, they like the fact that we won the election by a landslide on November 5th. That helped. But they're all coming back, and they're coming back from Germany and Japan. Toyota just announced, as you know, $10 billion worth of new plants. They just announced it last week I went to various countries, and Japan was one of them. And Toyota's coming in with a $10 billion investment in 4 or 5 plants. Now, we're going to be more advanced than we were. So we led the car industry like 100% 50 years ago. We led the chip industry 30, 40 years ago. We had 100%. Then people came in and started taking it. I don't blame them. Taiwan, etc. They took 100%. because we had no president that protected our industry. If we would have said, it's wonderful that you're going to Taiwan, we think it's great, but when you sell your product back into this country, there will be a 250% tariff. Nobody would have left. Nobody would have left. And Intel would have been a giant. Intel would have been, where's Jensen? Intel would have blown, well, he now owns a big chunk of Intel. He's got it figured all different ways. Where are you, Jensen? Stand up. You have done such a good job. And you had a good 2 days, I understand, right? A good 2 days. How's Blackwell doing, okay? Any recent competitors? Anybody going to blow Blackwell away in the next week? They say 10 years. I don't know, maybe 2 years, 3 years. But you will not be stopping there. You'll be going further fast, right? An amazing job you've done. I want to thank Howard Lutnick and Christy Noem for being here. Christy, Howard, good job. Really good job. My daughter Tiffany's here with her great husband Michael. Thank you very much, Tiffany.
All right, folks, we're going to see you tonight at 11. We appreciate your time here on WCNC Plus inside the Impact Studio. We'll be back tomorrow.